So you have a situation where you got into a disagreement with somebody, and this is a person that you care about, and you're not sure whether or not they're going to forgive you, but you have a hard time letting go. So this week on Motivation and Confidence, we're going to talk about 3 things you can do to let go. Stay tuned. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. This is Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best. And I'm your host, Tom Danger. Back this week with a new episode. And before we go any further, please like, subscribe, and share. And as always, we thank you for all your support. We thank you for staying with us on the journey. And as a thank you, a couple of things. I'd like to offer you a free copy of my first book, Motivation and Confidence, Volume 1, The 7 Steps, which is an ebook on how to start your ideas. If you go to tomdanger.com right now, contact, and just put ebook, I can make sure that I get you a copy, just as my thank you to you. And as always, if you're interested in learning about your personality type and what your superpower is or what you are naturally good at, you can also go to the website, www.tomdanger.com, TOMDANGER.com, and in the contact section, just put superpower, and I'll make sure that I send the link over to you. This one is a tough one. So you have that friend where you may have said some things that you in your feelings. You in your feelings, and you get in your feelings from time to time. And when you're in your feelings, you sort of get like diarrhea of the mouth. You just say the first thing that comes to you, and that may not necessarily be the best thing. And now you feel bad because you've said it. You know, I just had a similar conversation with a loved one recently about this type of scenario. And it was pretty heartbreaking to see how hurt she was over this incident. So in looking at that, I figured that this week I would talk about it and offer you some guidance on 3 ways that you can deal with letting go. Sometimes you have to put into context the nature of the relationship. Like, not every situation and not every person, first off, is worthy of your time. Like sometimes you may feel as if you are super important and you're always on people's mind, but let's face it, like, a lot of us are selfish. Like, you really want things to be about you, and it's not always about you. So sometimes you may think that something that you've discussed or said is hurtful toward a person, but actually it's all in your mind. Like, stop looking for confirmation from somebody to make you whole. And what do I mean by that? It's if you say something and you know that you didn't mean to say it and you've apologized for it, like, just leave it alone. Like, don't go back and forth. Don't beat yourself up because they haven't come back to you and say, like, okay, I forgive you, or this is cool, you don't have to worry about it, because your mind will play tricks on you. Your mind can literally send you down the rabbit hole to think that something is worse than what it actually is. You know, like, I was thinking about this with my wife. Like, sometimes when we have an evening together, she may be quiet and I may think that something's wrong. And admittedly, I am a workaholic. So when I finally come up from out of the water, I'll say, like, what's wrong? Like, what did I do now? And she'll say nothing, but I feel like something is wrong. Now maybe it is my guilt and not being focused on the quality time that I should be sharing with my wife. But in my mind, I just feel like something is wrong. All the way until like, it's almost like all night you're thinking about it. You're thinking like, man, like what's going on? Like, why are we not communicating? Well, in fact, I'm actually part of the problem, because if I'm not saying anything and now we've created a routine to where I'm just in my workspace, and then now she's in the habit of being in her space, then I shouldn't allow my mind to play tricks on me. And if she says nothing is wrong, I have to leave it at just that. Like, nothing is wrong. I'm pretty sure if something were wrong, she would bring it to my attention, because she gives me hell. But I love her to death. That's just the way it is, right? So I would say that the first thing is apologize. And your apology isn't necessarily for that individual. The apology is to yourself, because you may feel bad about something that you didn't intend to do. So you want to start your own healing process. Okay? Sometimes we do have relationships where the individuals that we're communicating with are not really good for us. And we have to evaluate those type of relationships. Because even though you can talk to somebody for years and still don't really know them, because you only know them at a particular level. So you may think that you have a deeper relationship with that person than what you actually do, and you may be investing more time into it than what it actually is, more or less at face value. Like if it's just a coworker, it's just a coworker. If it's just a classmate, it's a classmate. If it's just a neighbor, it's a neighbor. Like you hold no trust, value, or additional input into that relationship beyond like higher by, how can I help you? You know, this is just a person in my class or a coworker. And when you have that type of relationship, and let's say like if you do apologize and that person is still belligerent or showing their ass, sometimes it's even better to connect with another person. Like remove yourself from that situation altogether, or from that individual, and surround yourself with other people that actually hold the things in value that you hold in value. Because, I mean, we have to face it, like, we have different values, and because we're at different points in our life, certain people may stress over certain things. Like certain people you may not stress over money, but that person may stress over money, where you may seem nonchalant about it. They may get upset because you ain't really tripping. But if you surround yourself with another person who's not really tripping about money, and then you have a conversation about it, then it's just a casual conversation, because now you have something that's also in common, right? So, 1, forgive for yourself. 2, sometimes you have to change the people that you're around, because not all relationships are beneficial for both parties, and people have a season and a reason to be in your life. And sometimes when you have disagreements or a falling out, that just may be a sign that the season for that person to be in your life is actually over. Okay? And some of you are really hard on yourself. Like you get really emotional, and there's nothing wrong with expressing your emotions, but if you feel as if you are like beating yourself up and you're crying and it's hard for you to get through a day, I'm a strong believer in get some help, right? And let's not confuse help with talking to a friend or family member. While it's cool because it's comfortable, you can let your guard down and express to people how you feel, but a professional can guide you in a direction toward the healing process. Because if you put your business in the hands of the wrong individual, they will take that information and then use it against you. No matter how cool you think that person is, no matter how close you are, like, again, because people are self-serving, they'll take it and be like, oh, I remember. So if I say this to you, I can push your buttons, because now you've disclosed that information to them when it's not even something that you should be telling someone else. And this is especially true for relationships. Like, when you have a problem in your marriage, your relationship, don't be telling your homeboys, your homegirls, your family, none of that. Talk to your partner, and if you and your partner can't settle it, get an outside party, a professional, to come in and help you. Okay? So to restate, forgive, find new company, and if need be, get professional help. What else would you add to the list? And or what other subjects or people would you like to see featured on the podcast? We're on the road to 200, so we're very excited about that. This is Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best.